North Korea, a land shrouded in mystery and enigma often referred to as the Hermit Kingdom. The very name evokes a sense of intrigue and secrecy. Isolation shrouds this nation, cutting it off from the rest of the world. Its secrets remain hidden from the world, locked away behind high walls and guarded borders. But some secrets are too horrific to stay buried. The darkness that looms over this nation is palpable. Behind the facade of military might and grand parades lies a truth the regime tries desperately to conceal. It is a truth of suffering, of oppression, of lives crushed under the heel of tyranny. The everyday reality for many North Koreans is one of hardship and despair. This is the story of North Korea's human rights crisis. A crisis that has seen countless lives destroyed and families torn apart. The Democratic People's Republic of Korea, as it calls itself, is anything but democratic. The regime's propaganda paints a picture of unity and strength, but the reality is starkly different. It is a land where fear is the law and dissent is met with swift and brutal punishment. Public executions and arbitrary arrests are tools of control. The world has glimpsed this darkness through the testimonies of brave defectors, risking everything to escape the clutches of their homeland. Their journeys are fraught with danger, crossing treacherous terrains in search of freedom. Their stories paint a chilling picture, revealing the true cost of life under Kim Jong-un's rule. These accounts are a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the desperate desire for freedom. International organizations and human rights activists continue to shine a light on these atrocities, advocating for change and justice. The world watches, hoping for a day when the shadow over the Hermit Kingdom will be lifted. Until then, the stories of those who have suffered and those who continue to fight for their freedom will serve as a reminder of the resilience and hope that persists even in the darkest of places. In North Korea, the individual is nothing. The state is everything. From the moment they are born, North Koreans are indoctrinated with the ideology of the Kim dynasty. Their lives are meticulously controlled. Every aspect, from their work to their thoughts, is subject to the whims of the regime. Freedom of speech is non-existent. Criticizing the government, even in whispers, can lead to dire consequences. The same fate awaits those who dare to access information from the outside world. Possessing a foreign DVD or tuning into a South Korean radio station can result in imprisonment, torture, or even death. The regime's grip on information is absolute, ensuring its people remain trapped in a carefully constructed bubble of propaganda. Fear is the lifeblood of the North Korean regime. It is a tool wielded with precision and ruthlessness. It permeates every level of society, infiltrating the very fabric of daily life. From the bustling markets to the quiet corners of workplaces, the shadow of fear is ever present. Citizens live in a constant state of paranoia, suspicious of their neighbors, their colleagues, even their own families. Conversations are hushed, and glances are furtive, as everyone is aware that a single misstep could lead to dire consequences. The threat of being reported for a perceived slight against the regime hangs over them like a sword. This omnipresent danger forces people to constantly guard their words and actions. This climate of fear is carefully cultivated through public executions and the threat of imprisonment in the country's notorious political prison camps known as Kwanliso. These public spectacles serve as grim reminders of the regime's power and the severe consequences of dissent. These camps are not for criminals, but for political prisoners, those deemed enemies of the state. The mere suspicion of disloyalty can result in a one-way trip to these brutal facilities. The conditions inside these camps are inhumane, with reports of starvation, torture, and forced labor. Prisoners are subjected to relentless physical and psychological abuse, stripped of their dignity and humanity. The mere mention of these camps is enough to strike terror into the hearts of ordinary North Koreans. Families live in constant fear of losing a loved one to the regime's unyielding grip, knowing that once taken, they may never return. This pervasive atmosphere of fear and control extends to every aspect of life in North Korea. Even the simplest of daily activities are conducted under the watchful eyes of the regime, ensuring that no one ever feels truly safe or free. The Kwanliso are not the only places where forced labor is used to prop up the regime. Across North Korea, citizens are forced to work in grueling conditions for little or no pay. They toil in mines, on farms, and in factories, their every move watched by the ever-present eyes of the state. Children as young as 5 are not spared from this system. They are forced to work alongside adults, denied their childhood and education. Their small bodies are broken by years of back-breaking labor, their spirits crushed by the relentless toil. The world rarely sees inside these camps, but the stories of those who have escaped paint a horrifying picture of human suffering on a massive scale. The international community has long condemned North Korea's human rights record. The United Nations has issued numerous reports detailing the regime's abuses, calling for an end to the impunity enjoyed by its perpetrators. Yet despite the mounting evidence and condemnation, the situation on the ground remains dire. North Korea consistently denies any wrongdoing, dismissing the accusations as fabrications by its enemies. It refuses to allow independent human rights monitors into the country, shielding its atrocities from the world's gaze. The regime's isolation and its possession of nuclear weapons make it a difficult target for meaningful action. The international community is left grappling with how to hold a regime accountable when it operates with complete disregard for international norms and values. Section 6. Whispers of Defiance. Despite the pervasive atmosphere of fear and oppression, there are flickers of hope. Inside North Korea, whispers of dissent are growing louder. The increasing flow of information from the outside world, smuggled in on USB drives and mobile phones, is slowly chipping away at the regime's control over its people's minds. The stories of defectors who have escaped to tell their tales of horror are also having an impact. Their courage in speaking out is inspiring others to question the regime's narrative. These acts of defiance, though small and often hidden, represent a glimmer of hope for a future where the human rights of the North Korean people are respected and protected. Section 7. The Price of Freedom. Escape from North Korea is a perilous journey, fraught with danger at every turn. Those caught attempting to flee face severe punishment, including imprisonment, torture, and even death. Yet, despite the risks, thousands continue to risk everything for a chance at freedom. Their journeys often take them across the border into China, where they face the constant threat of being caught and repatriated back to North Korea. Even if they manage to reach safety in South Korea or elsewhere, they carry with them the scars of their past, the trauma of their experiences etched deep within their souls. Section 8. A Call for Justice. The plight of the North Korean people is a stain on the conscience of the world. We cannot and must not ignore their suffering. Silence is not an option. The international community must use all tools at its disposal to hold the North Korean regime accountable for its crimes against humanity. Sanctions, though imperfect, can be used to pressure the regime economically. Diplomatic efforts must focus on securing the release of political prisoners and allowing independent monitors into the country. And we must continue to shine a light on the regime's abuses, amplifying the voices of defectors and demanding justice for the victims. Section 9. Hope for a Brighter Dawn. The road ahead for the North Korean people is long and arduous. It is a path filled with obstacles and challenges that seem insurmountable. The journey is not just a physical one, but also a deeply emotional and psychological struggle. Every step forward is a testament to their resilience and determination. The rugged terrain they traverse symbolizes the harsh realities they face daily, yet they continue to move forward, driven by an unyielding hope for a better future. But even in the darkest of times, hope endures. It is like a ray of sunlight breaking through storm clouds, a candle flickering in the darkness, or a resilient flower growing through the cracks in the pavement. Hope is the force that keeps the spirit alive, even when everything else seems to be falling apart. It is the quiet whisper that tells us to hold on, to keep fighting, and to believe that a brighter dawn is possible. The human spirit, no matter how battered and bruised, cannot be extinguished. It stands strong in the face of adversity, holding on to unity and solidarity. The determined faces in the crowd are a testament to the unbreakable will of the people. They are not just surviving, they are fighting, dreaming, and striving for a future where they can live with dignity and freedom. One day, the iron grip of the Kim regime will loosen. The chains that have bound the people for so long will break, the walls that have confined them will collapse, and the iron bars that have imprisoned their dreams will be cut. This day will not come easily, but it will come, driven by the collective strength and courage of the people. One day the people of North Korea will finally be free to live in a country where their rights are respected, their voices heard, and their humanity recognized. They will celebrate their freedom, cheer in liberated areas, and embrace their loved ones with joy. This vision of a free and just society is what fuels their struggle and keeps their hope alive. Until that day arrives, we must not waver in our commitment to stand with the North Korean people. We must support the protesters holding signs, the activists speaking at rallies, and the people holding candles in vigils. Our solidarity and support are crucial in their fight for freedom and justice. We must be their voice, their advocates, their champions for a future where the horrors of the past are never repeated. We must come together as a global community, holding hands in unity, speaking out at every opportunity, and gathering to support their cause. Our collective efforts can make a difference and help pave the way for a brighter future. The journey towards justice may be long, but it is a journey we must take together. It is a path that requires determination, solidarity, and unwavering commitment. As we walk together, march with purpose, and climb the hills of adversity, we move closer to a future where justice, freedom, and human dignity prevail. Let us continue this journey with hope in our hearts and a steadfast resolve to make a difference.